Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. Fate has brought you here. I did not pay for any likes, views, or subscribers. I have universal content here for you for any market, any time frame. We're going to look at gold. We're going to look at NQ. We're going to look at the ES. We're going to look at a couple of different things in the allotted time here. I'm going to try to do this in about 30 minutes, so do bear with me. I don't have any prop firm links. I don't try to entice you with intros, and I'm not face plastering all over the videos. I don't have new strategies, and I don't do hindsight analysis because hindsight will never stop me out or you out. Okay. I don't regurgitate other people's content, ICT and all this other stuff online. I have my own perspective on markets, and I'm definitely going to share with you what that looks like. Professional trading is simple. It's not hard and it's not complicated. I have you know that, and I'm going to do my best to disclose what that looks like. Here's a video here. If this video doesn't suffice, you can definitely check out this one. I'll have the link below. You can take a look at this information here. I will not be returning. Okay, I want to say that to you. I will not be returning to the channel. I'm not trying to enable selfishness. All right. There's a lot of selfish people online, and I don't want to be another source of that going on. I just don't. It's been on my mind to delete the channel because I already had all of this stuff before. I told you I had a business online. If you're new, I want you to know I had a business online, YouTube, social space, and all that, and I got rid of it. I only came back to give. I want to give as much as I can to those that really need the help. And so, for those that need the help, thank you so much for contributing. There's a lot of you that have hit the like button, that left comments. I want to celebrate you right now by saying thank you so much for doing so. But the numbers are not favorable. All right. So, there's a lot of selfish people that's showing up, but they have no interest on helping others. I don't want to be affiliated with that. So, this will be my last and final video. Want to tell you though, there's a lot of content here. So if you're having trouble with trading, I got a lot of information for you. You're more than welcome to take a look at all this content here. And again, everything that I'm going to disclose to you can be applied to any market or time frame. And if you're in the market for indicators, I do have that as well. Very simple stuff too. It's not complicated. All right. So you're getting 300 plus indicators, 14 files, sound files, 10 templates, 2 workspaces, and actually it's more templates than stated here, and a market analyzer and 2 chart scales. We're going to take a look at some of that information right now, though. Right now, I want to explain to you there's only 3 possible ways that the market will present to you information, all right? Because that's all the market is. It's just information, and you need to know how to assess what it is that it's doing. The market is just like you and I. Okay, we have thoughts, action, habit, character, destiny, and the market does the same thing. It creates the outcome, and it has ensured that the function can get the outcome to happen. All right, so while we're trying to choose the outcome, we can't control it. Okay, but the market can. All right, and so it's really important that you attach yourself to its model so that way you can get to whatever it is that you would like to have happen for you in that day. All right, so what's the function? All right, so we're going to talk about that. Procedural knowledge. We need to know this word. This is very important. Procedural knowledge is the knowledge exercised in the performance of some task. Okay. Procedural, relating to an established or an official way of doing something. All right. So the doctor has a procedure that he performs. The court has proceedings, and so there's an established official way of doing something. Now, what is that way of doing it? Majority is the principle that the greater number should exercise greater power. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's only 3 ways that it shows up on the chart. You got to get the mid above the bars, high or low. All right, that's what you will want to do. That's the bars turning red and green when this take place. If it's happening, you'll see a pressure fire off in the upper corner here or in the bottom right corner as well. The next thing that you're looking for, and again, I'm gonna try to cover several different markets so that way you're able to see it on your market of choice if I can get to it. Wicks. So we want a larger wick, smaller wick. Okay, and when it comes to the bodies, let me just kind of slide this over here. We're kind of looking for the opposite, and so we're wanting a smaller body but a larger body afterward. Okay, so we want the larger one to follow. Here we want it to start it off. All right, so again, this is majority. We're always trying to find majority because it needs to be procedural. And once you find that in the chart, you're dealing with the function. Now you're dealing with the function. And so what you would want to happen for yourself should be there. Being that the market is kind of pushing down, let's take a look at the one below here. We have the trend, okay, that's the trend. And then, of course, it will do the trend distance more often than not. It will. And because whenever you have a thought, what's on your mind is your destiny. It's present with the thinking. All right. So it's right there with you. And so we don't need any kind of trend lines, moving averages, oscillators, anything of the sort. All right. And I want to tell you that all of my indicators are price action based. They're not dependent upon any kind of oscillator, support and resistance tool. They're not that. Okay. It's tools that you can learn from. I want to say that to you outright. All right. Now, they were heading down. Well, right here, they were heading down. Let's see if they got a trend off this bottom. Let's try to get this done, and then we're going to flip over to something else. All right, so we had one big bar here. Okay, we're not counting any bars in between. That's 2, 3, and that's 4. That's only 4. Now they're at the center of the chart. Okay, so they're at the center of the chart, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your bezel. Okay, right here. This is in front of you. So you can always know where the market is going to turn. You don't have to do hindsight. Professional trading doesn't involve all of that. To be quite honest with you, you just want to kind of stay right there in real time, given that there's enough information right here that can tell you that there's a chance that, you may be running into a particular turning point. That's all. And so it's again in front of you. Now you can just zone this out pretty much somewhat like that. You can kind of do. I do believe they're getting above here without a doubt. Now, I don't like what's on this turn here, so I do believe that they can come back through here. I absolutely believe that. All right, so let's see if they'll reach up here and then possibly turn back around. All right, so now we got 4. Let's see. Actually, we had 5 here. So we had 5. We had one. Let me make sure I got this. 2, 3, 4. Here's 5. I'm sorry. There's 5 there. I didn't see this little guy. That's 5. We're trying to get 7. So that's 5, 6. Okay, they gave us 7. Now, I don't like this bottom. They don't have to come back and get it right now. It can happen after the video. I don't know, but I want to tell you that this is how far they're suggesting that they will go. All right, this is how far they're suggesting that they will go, which is back through that high. Now I'm gonna sit this here, and we're gonna go to gold, and then we're gonna go to crude oil. We're gonna just take a look around, and we'll be back. All right. Now let's deal with the center of the trend again. This will be my last video. All right. I want to go ahead and just give you guys some information really quickly here for those that appreciates the content. I want to give you some information to kind of go with, but I will not be returning, and I'm contemplating. I'll just say it that way, contemplating just deleting the channel. All right. So try to take this information in. Let's come back to this. All right. So we kind of let's make sure we have our center of our trend up here. We're gonna put that in place. We got 1, 2, 3. That's 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. So yes, the center of the trend is roughly the upper part of the scale here. Again, you don't have to go so far outside of what's right in frame within left to right to find out what's happening with the chart. All right, I want to make sure that you can understand. Reading the market, it's very, very simple. It's not complicated. Try not to make it that. It's very simple. That's the center of the trend for the downtrend. And then, of course, they already have their uptrend and they can possibly make it. Now, this is the center of the trend here. So, again, the cost of the thought, we have primary and secondary values. The primary value is what causes us to act. All right. So, the cost of the thought, the COT is the cost of the thought, the center of the trend, all one and the same. It's just like us. All right. So, we're trying to get a understanding of the mind of the market. What does it want to do? All right. So, and of course, when it moves up here, you got the COT up here as well. All right. So, oftentimes they will test it before they go. I want to go ahead and say that to you. So, they don't normally just run straight on, although sometimes they do. They just, most of the time, you will see that what you're needing to reference, and hopefully some red bars or some green bars near. I know they overshot this one here, but hopefully that's near your COT. So your center of your trend or your cost of your thought, hopefully that's nearby. Let's come back to that. Now let's go to gold. All right, so let's go to gold. We're just going to kind of rip and run around the chart here a bit and see can we find some other interesting information going on. Let's see what gold is doing. It just hit the lower portion of the scale here. Let's count our bars and see how far it is that they've went up so far. I think they got a trend here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 7. So we got 7 here. All right, so we got 7 here. Now, they're operating beneath the lower portion of the chart. That doesn't mean that they cannot continue up. They can. The NQ was beneath the lower portion of the chart, but it managed to continue on. So now let's see if it wants to go at least to the center of the chart. That's what it's suggesting. All right, that's what it's suggesting. Let's see, can it get there? We're going to evaluate whether or not the center of the trend have the majority near it. All right, so now we're going to get our center of our trend, which is roughly right about here. All right, let's see if it can get there in the allotted time. Again, I don't want to be before you long. Okay, the scale is adjusting, but as you can see, the chart scale is not. So the chart scale that I have, it's not moving. All right, so we have this here. Okay, we have this here. They've already overshot this information here. Now, the bar that's before the green bar is a no close level. That's a no close bar. I have an indicator that puts the NC on that bar. I just don't have it on here, but it's a no close level. They went under it, but they did not close and they turned around. Now, they're just above the lower half of the chart. Okay. Now, again, this is all in front of you. You can know where the market is going to cycle without looking hindsight. I want to tell you that. But this is how far they're saying that they're willing to go. Now let's go and let's look at YM. Let's look at YM. Maybe it's doing something different than the NQ. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not quite that much different, but just a little bit. So let's count this out as well. We got 1. I know this is a trend 1. We're going to go ahead and count it out though. All right. So you want to be able to just pull up a chart at first glance and kind of go at it and know what it's likely to do. So we got 1, that's 2, 3, we got 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. All right. So we got 7 here. Did they already make the distance? Let's see. I know they're trying to say that the majority is kicking in for the downside. Let's see if it wants to get here. Let's see. I'm gonna just put this here and we'll see if they want to get here. I did tell you on that NQ, I do believe that they'll come back through that bottom, but let's just see if this will happen. Let's just put this out here. Now the center of all of this, it seems like they've already tested it. So you got 7, so the 7th, the center of all that is roughly here. Now they've already kind of went past our bars down here. They already went past our bars, so they kind of started it back over here. Okay, they started that majority back over here with the green bar. So once they came into it, okay, they kind of hit it, made a trend down, came into it. They went past this one here, but then established this one, kissed it to the tick. It looks like, let's get that low, 890. Kind of sitting away from the computer. 894 looks like. 894, yeah. So they kissed it to the tick and they pushed up. Now we had a trend down. I'm gonna just kind of put this in here. I can clearly see that's 7 bars. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 7. So the center of that trend and roughly the center of the chart, all one being the same. Let's just do this, kind of make this red. Will they get trapped between the two? I'm not certain, but I want to just put this in front of you. Just have this a video for you to go ahead and reference moving into next year. I want your trading to work. So whether you're a selfish individual stopping by the channel and you only care about your own interests, or you're someone that actually believes in the objective and that's trying to put some useful information online for traders that need some help, I would definitely want to see your trading work on either side of it. All right. Again, I got over 700 people here, but there's less than 10% of you that will support the information. Less than 1% really that's supportive of the information consistently. I would say that. All right. I want to say that consistently. That's really important. All right. So let's see if we can. Let's see what they're going to do. Let's come back to this. Let's go to the NQ. And again, I don't like to waste my time. I wanted to come up here and again help some people get their trading to work. And it's a good thing that it's working. I will say, I know some of you have definitely stressed to me that it's working for you. So that's good. I just wish that there were more that would share their experience, because we need to be able to, again, impact others. That's important. I'm trying to impact you. It would be nice if you impacted someone else by telling them your experience as well. All right, so they managed to get up here to the center of the trend, the cost of the thought. They got up here. They're trying to turn back around. I do suspect they're going to get through this high. I don't like this high no more than I like this bottom. But if I had to pick between the two, I don't like this bottom. All right, I would say that I don't like the bottom, but I do suspect that they can get up there. They're coming back to the center of the chart here, the chart scale. So your bezel right there on your hard right edge, right here, right here. This is where they're at. Now they're doing the majority. All right. So remember the rules. It's very simple. Look on the chart. It's right here. Here's your rules. Follow along. Get the center, well, the mid of this bar, the center of the bar to exceed that prior bar's high. A lot of you wants to do the FVG stuff. Okay. Now you can get that done without needing that third bar with majority. All right. You can see the gap in that. There it is. You do not need to have that third bar print in order to know that that should show up. I've been doing this for a very long time. Before there were prop firms, you would have to trade your own capital. There was no ICT, none of that stuff online. So I don't reference any of that information. It's understanding the market in relation to how it actually works. This is a decision place. That's what's happening. It's a decision place. I want you to say that to yourself when you're trading. Open, high, lows, and close, I totally get it. That's the reference point. But this is a decision place. And so whenever you're interacting with others and you're thinking, how the mind is a collective function. Okay, when you place your trade, you're placing it alongside with someone else that believes the same. The mind, it has to perform based on its idea. What is the idea? What is the mindset? Who's controlling the outcome? What was the idea, the intent? What is the motivation? So it will absolutely take shape. So whenever you trade, this is just us interacting with someone else's mind, someone else's thinking. It doesn't change how it actually performs, how it behaves. Okay. This is what the market is actually doing all of the time. Okay, all of the time. Yes, it goes up and down. Yes, open highs, lows, and close. But the market is a reflection of thinking. That's what it's doing all the time. Let's go back to our goal. Let's go. Well, this is just fantastic. How slow this is moving right now. I don't like this one. Let's see about crude. Let's see about crude. Crude might be doing something. I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't trade this market. I don't trade gold either. I like the NQ. That's the one I like. Um, Yeah, it's up. I mean, there's really nothing different going on here. I thought we had some up and down here, but it's just up. I'm not going to mess with this one. It's just up. Let's go to the ES. Let's go to the ES. I know some of you may trade that. Let's go to the ES. Let's take a look. Yep, it's climbing its way right on up there. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's only 4. I do suspect that it can get to the center of the trend. Let's find majority over to the left here. Let's see if it'll stop right at the center of the trend. If it can get down here, we got a little bit of help right here. If it overshoots the center, just a little bit of help there. It will have a trend down if it can get here. I'm pretty certain of that. But can it turn back around and wipe that out? It can. Indications are flashing saying that, hey, we have sell pressure to the downside. All right, so we have some sell pressure here. Let's see if it'll turn back around. Let's just see if it wants to do it. But it's headed here. Kind of played the backside of the upper part of the chart. This is the upper part of the chart. Let's see if it can get a little bit closer to here and turn itself back around. Now let me count the trend for you here so you'll know. And again, we'll kind of surf right back to the NQ, GC. We'll take a look at all of them again. I don't like this turn either, but we're going to go with it. So let's go 1, 2, 3. That's 4. That's 5. And 6, and there's 7. So we got 7 bars closing higher. All right, so now we'll measure that distance here. Very simple. I want you to know professional trading is very simple. It's not complicated. It's not convoluted with a bunch of different rhetoric and a lot of different terminology you can't comprehend. It is the market reflecting what's going on in the mind of those who are participating. All right, so let's see. This is how far it's suggesting that it will go. The center of all of that is here. All right, so the center of that uptrend, give or take, we're going to give or take here. I'm not being perfect with this, is this. All right, so we're going to go with this. They didn't break that downtrend, so let's go with this here. And again, I don't want to be before you long. Just a few more moments. Again, here we go. They're trying to pick it up. They're trying to pick it up. I know they have another downtrend in place here. We can count this out to some degree, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. So 7. The center of that again is roughly right about here, and it should align to your bezel. So your right side of your chart, it should align to it in some degree. What's going on? And I do provide a chart scale with the purchase that's not viewed by the people online. All right, so no one has seen the chart scale that I provide. To my students here, I provide that to you as well. It has never been viewed publicly. I want to say that to you. So, and it provides you a little bit more information on what can happen. All right, just want to share that with you. You can see them coming in at the center of the chart. All right, at the center of the chart. Again, you don't have to really look over here. It's going to happen regardless. I mean, it really will. But I want to have you know that if you're having trouble, try to pair the two. Get the center of your chart. See if you can get some help somewhere over here. I know they went under this one. They went under this one, but again, it's back here. This is a no close level, and that's the hard stop. Okay, they didn't get all the way here. They just came back down into this area here. Center of the chart, I did tell you they'll have a trend to the downside should they get down here. They should. Now let's measure out how far they will go if they want to turn back around and go down, which I don't think they'll do that right now. I don't think that they'll do that right now. But let's see. Let's see. I don't like this bottom. I will say that. I don't like this bottom, but we'll project it down just to see what's going on. Then we're going to run back to the NQ and we'll come back to this. Let's go back to the NQ and find out what's happening. All right, so they ran up there. They managed to bounce. Of course, they bounced here and kind of lifted up. They were trying to head back up there, but then they turned it back around. So I'm gonna leave that there. Let's see what we have here. So let's count. We got 1, 2. That's 3. We got 4. That's 5. 6, and there's 7. All right, so we got 7 here. Okay, so now let's measure this and let's see what they want to do here. I don't want to hold you long, but I definitely wanted to give you all of this information and so you can actually move it forward into next year and get your trading to work. I don't plan on coming back, people. And I mean it this time. I mean it this time. I'm not coming back. I'm a bit just a bit done with the experience here. Again, I took all my stuff offline. I don't like what the trading space is becoming. I don't like it. It really bothers me how things are being done, and so I thought I would help just a little bit. But I'm running into what I don't like. So let me back away and just give you guys the opportunity to keep being yourselves. I want to get away from it. All right, so let me do it this way. All right, so they ran into the center of this one, but maybe if they're going to hold this move they just made down, that's what you're getting here. Now again, we got tons of red bars here, but they're building themselves back in this direction. So now you're stuck between two extremes. All right, so you got your upper part of your scale, your lower part of your scale, and they're kind of sandwiched in between the two. All right, so they're stuck right in between the two. Let me just put this here. They're stuck right in between the two. All right, now they can't do this forever. And clearly, I'm not going to stay on here the whole time that they plan on doing this back and forth. They just came down to the center. Okay, we'll just pull this forward. They came right back to the center of your trend here, your cost of your thought. All right, they came right back to here. And if the primary focus is to go up, then, well, they came to the right place. Okay. Again, we have primary and secondary values. And so we always go with the primary thing most of the time. Now, we'll settle for secondary, but we primarily want to do what it is that we set out to do. And so the intent was to go down from up here, and they got there and they trying it again. But this cannot happen infinitely. It has to have a destiny. It has to go a distance. It can't stay here forever. And we've projected, two scenarios here. Okay, so we have an up and we have a down, a probability. And so again have to play what's there. And so if there's a chance that it would stay down, clearly you'll want to be where the cost of the thought or the center of the trend had taken place. You'll want to be as close to that as possible. because then the probability of them insisting that they want that to happen will show up again. All right. So let's see if that's going to be the case here. So let's go here, and then we're going to go take a look at gold and come back to all of this. All right. So let's put our center of our trend, because they got two of them kind of forming here. We got the center of the trend here, and then we'll count out the one they just did to the upside. Let's do that as well. So let's do this. And then let's count out this one that they've done here. You don't have to keep counting, but I have, it helps. If you're having a hard time, you'll want to start doing this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, 6, and there's 7. They kind of moved that on me. So that's 6, that's 7. All right. So they ran right back up to the top of our scale here, the upper part of our scale, and they turned back around. Now this one should align. If they're going to go up, it should be pretty much somewhat in the same area. Somewhat in the same area as the other. Reiteration is important. So for them to reiterate the same message is important. Okay. So now let's do our center of our trend for the downside. I mean the upside here. So the center of all of that will be roughly the center of the price scale here to the left. All right. Well, to the right. We're going to get our center of our trend, the cost of our thought. We're going to put that here. We got the green bar. Try to make sure it's near it. Okay, so we have two here. Actually, there's two. There's this red one here, this little red green guy, and then this green guy here, and then of course the one on the bottom. We don't want them all the way to the back of that trend. We don't want that. So hopefully they can turn right here and just go back up if they're going to stay up. Now notice what they're doing now. All right, I just want you to take a look at that and how that's happening. Let's take a look at that. Now they're getting compressed between here, okay, right in this little area right here. They're getting compressed. All right, so that's important. And again, all of this information is provided to you by the chart. It's not something that you have to look far off to the left. All of this is happening before we had got here. Before this moment, all of these cyclical turns that it's making, this information was provided long before we got to this moment. I want to say that to you. All right, so now we'll come back to that. Let's go back to our goal. Let's see if gold actually moved. Well, yeah, it moved back down. It did. It didn't want to go to the trend. It just didn't. All right. So it never made it to the center of the scale there. It just turned back around and it failed. They again picked up speed. As you can see, there's the bars turning red as they're coming back to the center of the trend. They tried to respond back down in this area, but it just didn't want to lift. So that's a no go. Did we do anything with crude? I think we left crude alone. Let's go back to the YM. I do believe we took a look at that. All right, so the YM definitely made it back through here. All right, I told you, that I do believe that they can get back through this bottom. Let's see what the ES did. Let's see what the ES did. And again, just floating right through this stuff. You don't need any kind of indicators. You don't need them. ES, it got stuck at the center of the trend and it's leaning back over. Again, same scenario here, pretty much one and the same. We're getting stuck right between these two areas here, and we're just getting stuck. All right. And again, there's the center, the cost of the thought, the center of the trend. All right. That's here. Okay. So we get the COT. I'm going to just put this here so you'll know the COT here. They pull right up to it. And of course, they're turning back around, just operating on simplicity. The market is not complicated. It's you and I. It's what we do. We think and we plan. Okay. And then we execute what it is that we're thinking of. All right. So something you just want to kind of go with whenever you pull up a chart, and you can use whatever indicators you want to use. If you don't have mine, that's totally fine. But I have that it's very simple. You don't need a lot of content. I think those that purchase my suite, they're supportive. That's all it is. They're supportive, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Again, I try to tell people that you don't need them. You don't need them. I'm not here to do that. I actually want to provide you guys an experience you never had before by giving you information that would absolutely work. That's number one. I want the information to work. Second of all, I want to provide you tools that you're not going to find everywhere. I want to provide you indications because that's all they are. It's just a recorded instance of something that had happened that may serve useful in the near future. Maybe. All right, and it's just like when they made this down, that's at the center of the trend. There's those red bars. They pulled into it. They turned around. So it may again record the information as a reference point for you to be able to collect that information once it gets there. Well, kind of somewhat of the same. They tried to lift at this green bar, but just couldn't get it to happen. Center of the chart. They're breaking through this. All right, so they're breaking through this. I don't want to hold the video any longer. All right, so again, I thank you so much for all of you that had stopped by the channel here that have been supportive in time past. Again, I'm 700 people. It's really interesting to have all of the information that's online that's leading you so far away from the simplicity of what markets is. The sophistication is in the simplicity. I can assure you that's how markets are. And so you don't want to travel too far outside of what's simple. You can use whatever approach that you would like to use, whatever approach you would like to use. But I have this is a channel that's providing you information that you would otherwise have to pay thousands of dollars for. I did not learn from anyone, so don't ask me in the comments. I'm a self-taught trader, been doing this for a very, very long time. I apply what's right in front of me. All right, and that's how I'm able to go about these markets. And again, thank God. That's the one I would say that has taught me anything. He taught me life, and I'm doing my best to learn as much as I possibly can about the life that I'm living. And so I'm trying to apply what it is that I'm living. When I look at the chart, it's functioning like the mind. That's all it's doing. And so this is the information that you're going to run into. I want to stress this to you before I go. You're going to want to find this. It's just three things that the market is always doing. We got the larger wick, smaller wick. We got the smaller body, larger body. We got the mid above the high, mid below the low. This is what you're looking for. Is procedural. Mostly in any profession, there's an established or an official way to doing something. I'm not conjuring this up. This is simple. It's right on the chart. You cannot argue that this stuff is happening. All right. It went up here. Let's take a look at it. There's a larger wick, smaller wick. The mid is above the bar's high. You didn't quite get the body to fit in there twice, but it's there. Here, you pretty much got all of it. Okay. So you got the bigger wick, no wick. This body can fit in there twice. The mid is above the high. It goes. All right, so there's several examples of this information all around. I want you to know what it looks like when you look at a chart. You don't have to be confused anymore. If you're in the market for tools, I do have them. Don't go and spend thousands of dollars. Don't spend hundreds of dollars for one indicator. One indicator. I've seen vendors online. I'm not a vendor, I'm an educator. I'm providing information. So when you put my tools on the chart, you should be able to learn from them. I've seen a vendor online selling one indicator for $300. I'm giving you over 300 indicators for 200 bucks. All right, you'll never find nothing like this online, I can assure you. And again, sometime next year, I may delete this channel. So I do encourage each and every one of you that's listening to me right now, please take this information in. Please take this information in, retain this information. This is how it works. When it comes to the bar pulling back, I didn't get to this point, but I definitely want to stress this because this is universal as well. This is your wick zone, people. All right. If the bar goes too far past your wick zone, the live candle, all right, this right here is the keyword, live. If it goes too far past your wick zone, it can potentially run your bar. I know I didn't get that far into the information. Again, I'm trying to provide you a lot of content in a short amount of time. I do wish you a happy holiday. Merry Christmas to you all. Happy New Year's to you guys. Be sure, if you can, the world has enough of this going on in it. Selfishness. Please take the time, be kind, share the information. You can hit the like button that shares the information, that gives someone else an opportunity to learn just like you did. Please give this information to someone as a gift for the holiday. Help them get a handle on their trading so they don't keep losing and having a hard time with it. If you do not mind doing so, I suggest you do it. Please do it. Help someone. All right. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.